which something begins. So it means the starting point of something. Option A, Renaissance. B, coming. C, commencement. And D, publication. We have commencement as the answer because it defines the starting point of the newspaper. Question 27. Mrs. Asio wanted her sister to stop being so detached. Detached in this context means to separate from others. So meaning that the sister to Mrs. Asio has been separating herself from others. So option A, friendly. B, careless. C, indifferent. And D, passionate. Friendly, careless, and passionate are not synonymous to detached, while we have indifferent as the synonym of detached, and it means not interested or concerned. So we have option C as a final answer. Question 28. Lantana dwelt in a ruined cottage on the hillside. The underlined expression is dwell, and dwell means to live in a particular place as a resident. It means to live in a particular place as a resident. Option A, sat. B, walked. C, slept. And D, lived. We have lived as the final answer because it defines dwelling in a place. So option D. Question 29. The mistake brought the show to an ignominious end. Ignominious is the underlined expression, and this means causing disgrace or shame. Option A, good. B, palatable. C, disgraceful. And D, satisfactory. The answer is disgraceful because it is contained in the definition of ignominious. Option C. Question 30. He compliments me on my way of doing things. The underlined expression is a compliment, and it means to say nice things about someone or something. So we have A, compliment. B, imitate. C, disgust. And D, praise. Compliment here means that means something that completes something else or makes it better. Imitate is to do exactly what somebody else has done or what looks like what another person has done. Disgust here is the opposite of a compliment, and then we have praise, which is synonymous to compliment. So this is option D. Question 31. The girl is angry with her friend who had snared her into this relationship. The underlined expression is snared, and snared means to catch an animal or person in a trap or in a place from which there is no escape. And according to the way it is used in this passage, that means the girl was lured into the relationship and cannot get out of it. So we have option A, tricked. B, encouraged. C, forced. And D, enslaved. The fact that ensnared defines a place from which there is no escape. We have enslaved as a final answer. Makes us to arrive at enslaved as a final answer. So we have option D. Question 32. Their new house was roofed with corrugated sheets. Corrugated means having wavy surface, and a wavy surface could be something close to folding. So we have A, folded. B, iron. C, aluminium. And D, corrupted. The answer is folded because it has to do with the nature, the pattern on the sheets. So option A is the answer. Question 33. The stockbroker said it was an astute move to sell the share then. Astute is the underlined expression, and this means having or showing an ability to notice and understand things clearly, mentally sharp or clever. So we have option A, bad. B, a shrewd. C, an unprofitable. And D, an insincere. In this context, we have a shrewd as the answer because shrewd also defines a cleverness and a mental sharpness. So we have option B as the answer. Question 34. Our principal described Oche as the most tactful person he had ever worked with. Tactful is the underlined expression, and it means careful not to offend or upset other people around you. So we have options: A, passionate; B, discreet; C, hardworking; and D, innovative. Here we have innovative as the answer because it has to do with a way of doing things such that you would arrive at a good result and people would not be upset. So we have option D. Question 35. The old man is suffering from dementia. Dementia is the underlined expression, and dementia means mental illness that causes someone to be unable to think clearly or to understand what is real and what is not real. Option A, lucidity. Lucidity means very clear and easy to understand. B, senility; C, insanity; and D, sagacity. Insanity is close to dementia because it has to do with a mental illness. So we have option C as a final answer. Sagacious, out of sagacity, means ability to understand difficult ideas. So this is opposite in meaning to dementia. Question 36. Some drugs have deleterious effect on a child's development. Deleterious is the underlined word, and it means damaging or harmful. Option A, debilitating. Debilitating means to weaken. Option B, helpful. Helpful is opposite in meaning to deleterious. C, harmful, and D, healing. The answer is option C, which is harmful, because it has to do with something dangerous. Question 37. Fila has always been described as belligerent. Belligerent is the underlined expression, and it means angry and aggressive. Options: A, beautiful; B, attractive; C, combative; and D, innocent. The answer is combative, because this has to do with annoyance or anger. Question 38. Laraba saw a forlorn little figure sitting outside the class. Forlorn is the underlined expression, and forlorn means sad and lonely. Sad and lonely. Options: A, wise and intelligent; B, lonely and unhappy; C, smart and healthy; D, short and ugly. The answer is lonely and unhappy, option B. Question 39. The circular supersedes all previous correspondence on the matter. The underlined word is supersede. Supersede means to take the place of someone or something that is old or no longer useful. It also means to replace someone or something. Options: A, supports; B, displaces; C, eliminates; and D, circumvents. The answer is displaces, because it has to do with removing something or someone. So option B is the answer. Question 40. Her problem was exacerbated by the loss of her father. The underlined word is exacerbated, and it means to make a bad situation or problem worsen. So that means her problem became worsened when her father died. Options: A, exaggerated; B, solved; C, aggravated; and D, infuriated. The answer is aggravated, because it has to do with the improvement on a problem. Option C. Now to the second part that has to do with opposite in meaning. The instruction reads: in each of questions 51 to 65, choose the option opposite in meaning to the word or phrase in italic. Question 51. The warring communities were coerced into negotiating a settlement. The underlined expression is coerced. Coerce means to make someone do something by using force or threat. So we are looking for the opposite of coerced as used in the sentence. Option A, driven; option B, compelled; C, persuaded; and D, pressured. Pressured and compelled, even driven, could be synonymous to coerced, while persuaded has to do with pleading someone to do something, which is opposite in meaning to coerced. So we have option B, which is compelled. Question 52. His father served as a mercenary in the army. Mercenary is the underlined expression. A mercenary means one that serves merely for wages. So wages, this meaning implies that the father of the person described in this sentence was a temporary staff, because if the person was getting wages. Option A, preacher, B, regular, C, recruit, and D, officer. The answer is regular. Regular is the opposite of mercenary as used in the context. Question 53. Juma is cruel to her husband. The underlined expression is cruel, and cruel means causing or helping to cause suffering, or something that is terrible or unfair. Options A, harsh, B, brutal, C, passionate, and D, ferocious. Harsh, brutal, and ferocious are synonymous in meaning to cruel, while passionate is the opposite of cruel. Option C is the answer. Question 54. The teacher who beat the student has been treated with mercy. The underlined expression is mercy. Mercy means kind or forgiving treatment of someone who could be treated harshly. So when you have mercy on someone, that means the person deserves